Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because what you're about to hear is not your average rap beef. This isn't about lyrics, diss tracks, or even social media jabs. No, this is a full-blown circus of betrayal, a scandal so messy it makes reality TV look scripted. Picture this. King Harris, son of the self-proclaimed King of the South, T.I., throwing hands at none other than Boosie in a confrontation that left the entire internet gasping. But the chaos didn't stop there. Whispers of a leaked tape quickly surfaced, the kind of footage that can destroy reputations overnight, dragging Boosie's own son into the fray. Was it coincidence, or was this a setup that went far beyond a simple fight? The scene in Atlanta that night would become one of the most shocking episodes in hip-hop history, and the fallout continues to reverberate through social media, the streets, and even the courts. When the altercation happened, it didn't just make headlines, it broke the internet. Phones came out instantly, recording every second of the fight, and within minutes, sirens were blaring. And the outcome? It wasn't Boosie who ended up in handcuffs, not some random bystander. No, it was King Harris, whose mugshot soon became the face of scandal plastered across blogs, news sites, and social media. T.I. himself exploded online, claiming the entire situation was a conspiracy designed to humiliate him and his family. But the question remained. Was this really just a street altercation gone wrong? Or was King Harris baited into a trap meant to bring down one of hip-hop's most powerful names? As the drama unfolded, dirty secrets began crawling out of the shadows, and fans everywhere wondered just how deep this rabbit hole would go. To understand the chaos that night, we need to rewind. T.I. and Boosie's tension didn't emerge overnight. Both men are Southern rap icons, men whose names are carved into the culture. Both are outspoken and carry street credibility, and both had egos that could only be challenged by someone just as fearless. According to sources close to the situation, T.I. had been feeling disrespected for weeks after Boosie allegedly threw subliminal shade during a live interview, mockingly suggesting that T.I. wasn't the king of anything anymore. For T.I., whose entire brand revolves around being the king of the South, those words were like gasoline poured over a fire that was already blazing. And the stage for the confrontation was set at a private industry event in Atlanta, a supposedly controlled space for networking and celebration, which quickly turned into a battlefield. Witnesses say T.I. approached Boosie, whispered something heated, and within seconds, the two were shoving, shouting, and then throwing punches. Phones were out immediately, recording every second of the fight because, in today's world, no one puts their device away when million-dollar rappers are about to throw hands. But the chaos escalated far beyond what anyone expected. A so-called leaked tape surfaced just hours after the fight, allegedly showing T.I. screaming threats, dragging Boosie's name through the dirt, and referencing mysterious papers that hinted at betrayals and hidden dealings. Suddenly, the fight wasn't just about respect or ego. It was about survival, exposure, and possibly revenge. Social media exploded. Fans debated endlessly. Was Boosie sitting on incriminating evidence against T.I., or was T.I. trying to expose Boosie before Boosie could expose him? Within hours, the fight became not just a scandal, but a potential career-ruining event. And the police were forced to intervene. Atlanta PD, under pressure to clamp down on celebrity violence, detained T.I. immediately, showing that fame does not guarantee VIP treatment. The images of T.I. being escorted into a squad car, handcuffed, and head bowed spread like wildfire, instantly becoming memes, viral content, and conversation starters for every corner of the internet. To fully grasp the stakes, we have to look at their history. T.I. and Boosie shared a complicated relationship over the years. They collaborated at times, respected each other's hustle, but there were always cracks. T.I. rose as the polished businessman, the Grammy winner, the reality TV star, while Boosie thrived on raw energy, street credibility, and fearless honesty. Both carried scars from the streets and bruised egos from the business world. But the tension reached a boiling point earlier this year when rumors surfaced that T.I. had cooperated with federal authorities during a past legal case. Boosie, never one to mince words, openly called T.I. a snitch. T.I, whose entire legacy is tied to his image as a street-savvy king, could not let the remarks slide. Pride, legacy, and respect collided in a perfect storm, creating the conditions for the explosive confrontation in Atlanta. When the fight finally broke out, it was an eruption of long, simmering resentment. Fists flew, words were exchanged, and the leaked tape revealed more than just physical conflict. T.I was reportedly shouting about hidden papers, secret deals, and betrayals that involved not just music money, but deeply personal stakes. Suddenly, the fight was no longer about ego. It was about revealing secrets, protecting legacies, and survival. The tape was shared across Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, fueling speculation, conspiracy theories, and debates about who had the upper hand. T.I.'s supporters claimed he was acting in self-defense, while Boosie's team insisted the assault proved guilt. And just like that, a single fight transformed into a multi-layered scandal, spanning music, law, and personal vendettas. The fallout was immediate. Sponsors froze endorsements, promoters worried about security for upcoming shows, and social media exploded with memes painting T.I as dethroned and Boosie as the ultimate chaos agent. But behind the internet jokes, there were serious consequences. Legal teams from both sides prepared for a protracted battle that could drag reputations through the mud further than any fight or diss track ever could. And while T.I focused on damage control, Boosie leaned into the chaos, posting Instagram lives, mocking T.I, and daring him to reveal what was in the mysterious papers. Social media became a battlefield, with fans debating not just the fight, but morality, loyalty, and the very concept of respect in the hip-hop industry. The plot thickened further when rumors of multiple leaked tapes began circulating. Sources claimed the footage wasn't random phone recordings, but possibly surveillance-quality clips. Who was behind the leaks? A rival label? Boosie himself? Or an even deeper conspiracy involving law enforcement? The #KingSetup hashtag trended, and fans speculated endlessly. Within the industry, paranoia spread. Managers ghosted calls, producers refused to comment, and insiders admitted that they had not seen chaos like this since the infamous East Coast-West Coast feud of the 90s. The leak of sensitive media, combined with T.I.'s arrest, created a maelstrom that no one could ignore. T.I.'s response was strategic, yet fiery. Live videos showed him pacing through his mansion, claiming the fight was about power and strategy, insisting he was being targeted to erase his legacy. Boosie, meanwhile, grew louder by the day, mocking T.I, flaunting his control of the narrative, and daring T.I to reveal what was in the infamous papers. Social media became a battlefield, with fans debating not just the fight, but morality, loyalty, and the very concept of respect in the hip-hop industry. Legal ramifications also began piling up. Court filings hinted that prosecutors were considering charges beyond simple assault, possibly even looking into witness tampering and connections to larger investigations. Rumors of federal scrutiny sent shockwaves through the industry. Atlanta, already scarred by high-profile rapper indictments in recent years, braced for another storm. And meanwhile, King Harris's entourage and friends began distancing themselves from what was increasingly appearing to be a war of power, legacy, and secrets. T.I.'s family brand also suffered, as fans demanded accountability and sponsors threatened to pull out, while Boosie's notoriety and fees skyrocketed thanks to the controversy. The confrontation itself took place at a private industry event in Atlanta, a setting that was supposed to be about networking and celebrating achievements in music and entertainment. Instead, it became the stage for chaos. Witnesses claimed that T.I approached Boosie, whispered something heated into his ear, and within seconds, shoving turned into a full-blown physical altercation. Phones came out immediately, capturing every movement, every scream, every punch thrown. In a matter of minutes, the scene escalated into complete bedlam, with sirens wailing outside and onlookers unsure how to react. And then the controversy deepened with the emergence of a so-called leaked tape, showing T.I. in the midst of the fight, shouting threats, calling out old secrets, and dragging Boosie's name through the mud. According to viewers, T.I. could be heard yelling about papers, hidden deals, and betrayals not just related to music money, but involving deeply personal matters. The fight was no longer a dispute over respect. It had transformed into a desperate struggle over survival, legacy, and public perception.
Speculation spread like wildfire online. Was Boosie holding incriminating evidence about T.I., or was T.I. attempting to expose Boosie before he could be exposed himself? Within hours, Atlanta PD confirmed they had sufficient evidence to detain someone in connection with the altercation, citing public endangerment as the primary reason. And while some may have expected VIP treatment or backroom negotiations, none were given. T.I. was arrested on the spot, handcuffed and escorted into a squad car, a scene that quickly went viral, becoming the meme of the week and dominating every social media platform. Meanwhile, Boosie was reportedly seen storming out of the scene, shouting insults and daring T.I. to respond, further complicating the narrative. The leaked footage blurred lines between aggressor and victim, suggesting that both men were deeply entangled in the mess, while fueling heated debates over who was truly at fault. As fans, insiders, and the media analyzed every frame of video, every word captured in audio, the story only grew more complex and harder to navigate. The backstory provides critical context. T.I. and Boosie had maintained a shaky alliance for years, mutual respect mixed with intermittent collaboration and frequent friction. T.I.'s rise was polished, methodical, and strategic, transforming him into not just a rapper, but a businessman, reality TV personality, and Grammy-winning artist. Boosie, on the other hand, embraced controversy, wearing his authenticity like armor. Where T.I. operated in boardrooms and leveraged industry connections, Boosie thrived on street credibility and fearlessness. Over time, these two worlds clashed, with each man operating under a different set of rules. Rumors began circulating earlier in the year, claiming that T.I. had cooperated with federal authorities years ago in exchange for a lighter sentence, a rumor Boosie did not shy away from calling out publicly. Fans quickly connected the dots, interpreting Boosie's comments as directed at T.I. Though T.I. initially brushed off the insults, his pride could not let them go unanswered. The battle lines were drawn, and it was only a matter of time before simmering tensions erupted into full-scale confrontation. When the fight did erupt, it released a torrent of previously restrained aggression. The leaked tape that surfaced in the aftermath didn't just show punches, it revealed an intensity that hinted at hidden secrets neither party wanted exposed. Anonymous sources suggested that the footage may have been leaked intentionally, perhaps by someone in the room aiming to humiliate both rappers. Within hours, the clip was circulating across TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, igniting intense debates among fans and commentators alike. T.I.'s defenders claimed he was acting in self-defense, provoked both verbally and physically by Boosie, while Boosie's camp insisted T.I. initiated the assault, using the arrest as proof of guilt. The music industry watched closely, with labels and executives weighing whether the scandal would boost streams or backfire, creating long-term liabilities. The mysterious papers T.I. referenced during the altercation became a focal point of speculation, suggesting potential betrayals in business deals, personal relationships, and possibly federal cooperation. The internet was flooded with doctored screenshots, alleged receipts, and wild conspiracy theories. Regardless of authenticity, the mere suggestion of these documents intensified the firestorm, with fans debating what could be hidden within these papers and what it meant for both men's legacies. As of now, T.I. remains out on bail, yet the visual of his mugshot is firmly etched into public consciousness. Boosie, meanwhile, has doubled down on his tough guy persona, claiming in Instagram Lives that he fears no king. The hip-hop community is divided. Some argue that T.I.'s empire is finished, and that exposure to street ridicule is irreparable, while others believe Boosie may have taken on a fight far bigger than he could handle. And the drama does not stop there. Within 24 hours, rumors began circulating of additional leaked footage, suggesting that the fight may have been captured from multiple angles, possibly even professionally set up. Theories spread online regarding who orchestrated the setup. Was it Boosie, a rival label, or even federal agencies keeping tabs on the players involved? The hashtag King setup began trending, as fans speculated about the layers of intrigue surrounding the fight and the tapes. Boosie continued to stoke the flames, posting on social media, laughing, and daring T.I. to reveal the contents of the mysterious papers. Screenshots and alleged evidence of shady business dealings began circulating, some credible, some clearly fabricated. TMZ reported that authorities confiscated a phone containing sensitive material, linking T.I. to potential criminal activity, further shifting the narrative from a physical brawl to a larger scandal implicating power, influence, and possibly federal scrutiny. Atlanta, a city already scarred by high-profile cases against rappers, braced itself as the story continued to unfold. Fans became obsessed, consuming every clip, tweet, and post, while sponsors pulled back from T.I. and producers evaluated the risk of future projects. Boosie, meanwhile, saw his value increase amid the controversy, proving that scandal can be a double-edged sword in the entertainment industry. Legal teams from both camps went to war, filing motions to suppress evidence, demanding access to recordings, and preparing for what could be a protracted litigation that exposes more secrets than anyone anticipated.
The situation took a darker turn when leaked documents allegedly tied to T.I.'s prior federal cooperation resurfaced, reviving one of the most damaging rumors in hip-hop, the snitch label. Whether authentic or not, perception in the digital age is everything. Fans began mocking T.I. online, creating memes and branding him as the informant. Simultaneously, new clips emerged, showing Boosie taunting T.I., accusing him of being a pawn in the industry's power games. Suddenly, this conflict was no longer a simple personal feud. It had become a symbolic struggle between street credibility and corporate influence, authenticity versus strategy. T.I. maintained a carefully measured silence, releasing statements insisting he was focused on clearing his name. Yet silence in the social media era is often interpreted as weakness, giving Boosie the upper hand in controlling the narrative. As hashtags like #BoosieExposeTI and #FreeTheReceipts dominated Twitter, collateral damage began to manifest. T.I.'s family reality show faced backlash. Sponsors froze deals, and streaming platforms quietly deprioritized projects tied to the Harris family. Meanwhile, insiders warned that Boosie wasn't immune from potential legal scrutiny, as authorities examined all related events from that night. The tension escalated, with additional leaks allegedly showing King Harris in private moments, making statements that could implicate his father and their broader business empire. The timing of these leaks was catastrophic, hitting just as T.I.'s team prepared legal defenses and public relations strategies. The internet, however, rarely waits for verification. Public judgment was immediate, with sponsors withdrawing, projects delayed, and fans divided over who was truly at fault. T.I. responded with Instagram Lives, pacing his mansion, veins bulging, declaring the situation a battle for power and legacy, insisting he was being strategically attacked. Boosie, on the other hand, capitalized on the spectacle, continuing to post, taunt, and amplify the drama. Industry insiders revealed that prosecutors were investigating whether the fight and the leaks were connected to a larger racketeering probe, potentially turning the altercation into a RICO case. If true, the stakes had escalated from a simple assault charge to a potential legal nightmare capable of engulfing entire labels and careers. King Harris, caught at the center of the storm, faced the harsh realities of fame, scandal, and the exposure that comes with living in the shadow of a legendary father. Every post, every leak, every rumor was dissected, and the public consumed the story voraciously, projecting narratives onto both T.I. and Boosie, while eagerly awaiting the next explosive revelation. However, the history between T.I. and Boosie is rooted in contrast as much as it is in competition. On one side, Boosie built his reputation on authenticity, a refusal to filter his opinions, and a brand of raw, unpolished honesty that made him a thorn in the side of the mainstream. He represented the streets in their most unflinching form, never bowing to the expectations of celebrity culture or curated image. On the other side, T.I. crafted a persona that was equally deliberate but diametrically opposed. Rising from the Atlanta trap scene, he honed a public image that blended street credibility with mainstream acceptability. Over the years, T.I rubbed elbows with actors, appeared on reality television, and carefully curated a persona that conveyed power, intellect, and a certain measured charisma, all while maintaining the air of a streetwise king. These two forces, authenticity versus refinement, chaos versus control, were destined to clash. And the catalyst for that clash? A podcast revelation that would ignite a powder keg. It all started with what seemed like an innocuous statement on a podcast. T.I, in a moment of casual conversation, revealed that he had once considered pinning a gun case on a deceased relative. While the comment may have been hypothetical in nature, the impact was immediate and explosive. For Boosie, who has long championed moral authenticity and transparency, this crossed a line. Social media erupted. News outlets seized on the story. Fans debated endlessly. Was T.I speaking figuratively, or was this a shocking glimpse into a darker side of his persona? For Boosie, the distinction didn't matter. The damage was done, and his response was swift, public, and unrestrained. He launched a media assault, calling T.I everything from a sellout to a fraud, canceling joint projects, severing personal and professional ties, and using interviews to broadcast his indignation. The feud had moved from simmering resentment to full-blown conflict, and for the first time, it appeared that real consequences were possible. The tension reached its climax at a private industry event, far from the public eye, yet tragically not beyond the reach of chaos. Witnesses describe an atmosphere of anticipation, where industry elites mingled, champagne flowed, and egos loomed larger than the room itself. In such a volatile environment, one poorly chosen glance or careless remark could ignite a powder keg. And according to multiple reports, that is precisely what happened. Allegedly, T.I and Boosie confronted each other face to face. The encounter, described by some as resembling a modern-day gladiatorial battle, quickly escalated. Fists were reportedly thrown, entourages clashed, bottles shattered, and chaos consumed the room. Boosie, known for his unpredictable and confrontational style, and T.I, whose reputation for control had long gone unchallenged, found themselves locked in a violent struggle that would culminate with Boosie being rushed to the ICU. The raw intensity of this incident, captured in shaky, grainy footage uploaded to social media, left the rap world in shock and left fans scrambling for clarity and updates. The online response was instantaneous and overwhelming. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok became theaters for public judgment, meme-making, and fan speculation. Hashtags like Pray for Bluey and Cancel T.I began trending simultaneously. Memes circulated, often mixing dark humor with pointed commentary, portraying the conflict in ways that were both absurd and emblematic of how fans digest modern celebrity drama. One viral edit depicted T.I as Thanos snapping Bluey into ICU tubes, while another showed a cartoon SpongeBob holding a hospital chart with the caption, "Bluey after telling T.I he ain't real." Social media became a courtroom, jury, and entertainment platform all at once. Users debated fiercely over the morality of each party's actions, the legitimacy of T.I's alleged aggression, and whether Bluey's outspoken rebellion justified or provoked the conflict. The meme culture, often a lens for society to process tragedy with humor, served to further cement the feud's place in the public consciousness. Celebrity responses added another layer to the story. 50 Cent, never shy of commentary, posted a meme of a hospital monitor beeping to the rhythm of Wipe Me Down, captioned, "Damn Bluey, still finding a way to make a hit in the ICU. Savage." Rick Ross joined in with his own metaphor, suggesting that when you season beef too much, it's bound to get cooked. Even The Game contributed a cryptic voice note stating, "Bowie's in the hospital, T.I.'s battling spirits, and the industry still lying to us." While the meaning of these comments were opaque, their impact was undeniable. The feud had captured the attention of both fans and fellow artists alike, solidifying its position as a major cultural event. The consequences for both men were immediate and profound. Bowie's silence in the aftermath only amplified his legend, transforming him into a martyr figure and an icon of resilience. Fans streamed his older music, shared memes depicting him as a modern-day Tupac-esque figure, and debated the authenticity and moral weight of his silence. Meanwhile, T.I.'s carefully cultivated persona suffered significant damage. His image as a polished, responsible family man came under scrutiny. Tiny temporarily unfollowed him on social media, a move widely interpreted as symbolic of discord. King Harris, T.I.'s son, was caught in the crossfire of public perception. Business partners, wary of being associated with the volatile energy surrounding the incident, began distancing themselves. Public sentiment painted T.I. as a villain while elevating Boosie, creating a reversal of fortunes that few could have predicted. In a matter of hours, what began as a feud over words and reputation had transformed into a full-blown reputational crisis with real-world stakes. Mainstream media scrambled to cover the story, offering a variety of perspectives. CNN's coverage was restrained, rapper hospitalized after altercation. Fox News framed it as evidence of violence in hip-hop, while Rolling Stone published a detailed analysis exploring masculinity, credibility, and Southern rap culture. While these articles offered context, most of the audience was captivated by the memes, viral clips, and social media commentary. In the digital age, tragedy and spectacle are intertwined, and the T.I. Boosie feud exemplified this dynamic perfectly. The fallout extended beyond the personal and public dimensions, prompting industry insiders to reflect on a broader and potentially dangerous precedent. For decades, rap beefs were primarily lyrical, a test of skill and wit, often confined to music, interviews, and social media. The T.I. Boosie incident, however, blurred the line between entertainment and real-life danger. Legal experts began speculating on potential charges, lawsuits, and criminal implications. Podcasts debated whether this marked the end of the fun era of rap drama, suggesting that future conflicts might carry higher stakes, both legally and physically. The implications for the industry are profound. The combination of fame, egos, and public scrutiny can no longer be contained by music alone. In the days following the incident, fans became the primary chroniclers of the drama. TikTok skits reenacted the alleged brawl with complete wigs, fake chains, and hospital props, while YouTubers analyzed grainy footage frame by frame as if investigating a historic event. The public response, a mix of fascination, humor, and moral judgment, underscores how celebrity conflicts are now shared, dissected, and repurposed almost instantaneously, amplifying both their cultural significance and their emotional impact. At its core, the T.I. versus Boosie saga is a story of power, ego, and consequence. Boosie fought for his life, while T.I. fought for his legacy. Both men are now emblematic of a new reality in hip-hop, one in which lyrical battles can escalate to real-world confrontation with public, social, and legal ramifications. Whether this marks the end of a certain era or the beginning of a more dangerous precedent remains to be seen. What is undeniable is that the rap game, as we knew it, has fundamentally changed. Fame, authenticity, control, and chaos intersected in a violent, unforgettable moment that will continue to reverberate across the industry, social media, and public discourse for months, if not years. As days turned into weeks, the situation only intensified. A leaked document, allegedly from federal files, reignited the snitch rumor surrounding T.I., while new audio clips suggested surveillance, threats, and shadowy confrontations. T.I.'s silence was both a strategy and a liability, allowing speculation to fill every gap. Boosie, on the other hand, played the chaos to his advantage, turning it into publicity for upcoming projects while keeping fans engaged and agitated. The lines between entertainment, crime, and media manipulation blurred, creating a saga that will be analyzed in hip-hop history for years to come. This is no longer just a fight. It's a war that spans the music industry, legal systems, and public perception. T.I. versus Boosie has opened Pandora's box, and the next leak, the next live session, the next court filing could completely change the narrative, potentially destroying careers and exposing hidden truths. The stakes are enormous. Atlanta watches, fans debate, and the industry scrambles. King Harris, once simply a rapper and son of a legend, now finds himself at the center of a storm he may never escape. So what really happened that night in Atlanta? Who's telling the truth and who is playing a game we'll never fully see? One thing is certain, this scandal is not over. It's only getting started, and the fallout could change hip-hop forever. Stay tuned, because the king versus the chaos is far from finished.